Hello. Trading is closed on July 11th, 2023. As always, we'll do our disclaimer, go over our calls, and make some predictions. This is my trading plan for tomorrow, which is July 12th, 2023. Please remember, my calls can be wrong. Trade at your own risk. Look for the pattern today with the early high. That's this. Tends to be a rally day with a high in the final hour, which is what we got. Tomorrow's pattern should be the one with the early low. So what we said, looked for higher prices if recent lows were maintained. I still think we're in a wave two of some degree, and at some point we have to drop. Doesn't mean it has to start now. Doesn't mean it won't. Had a strong rally, closes the dotted line. So far, we haven't taken out any of these highs. And until we take out some of these highs, this is an impulsive drop, and this is backing and filling and overlapping corrective waves. So far, that's the active impulse, and that's the reaction. And as long as these highs hold, that's the reasonable interpretation. But of course, if we take these out in style, not just by a little bit, this looks less important, and the bulls might have more to do on the upside. Till that happens, that's just a correction. We got an ultimate buy signal in the morning. We did trade higher. We got a sell signal in the afternoon, and we traded low enough to satisfy the target. So that doesn't tell us anything about what happens tomorrow. We think we're in wave red 2 of black 3, and we just have to wait for this red 2 to complete. The count doesn't have to be right, but I'm using it until it's proven wrong. Well, if that is an A, you could call this an ABC, with an ABC in wave C bracket of gold B. This C doesn't quite equal this A, but it comes pretty close. It doesn't have to equal it. And that's an ABC up with C equal to A. So if we stop here, I can explain it, but again, just because that works doesn't mean something else won't. If we drop at the open, there is your explanation, but this doesn't require us to drop. It just makes it plausible if it does. Well, tomorrow's pattern has really low. We could still gap up. Now, the CPI report comes out tomorrow, followed by the PPI report Thursday. I always am reluctant to make calls on days in which a significant economic report's released. These can lead to big moves, and I don't look at how much I can make, I look at how much I can lose. And if you guess wrong on these things, it can hurt you. And until that comes out, I don't think it pays, for me at least, to risk money. Now, we've had a strong rally into resistance formed by the prior consolidation and the MEJT target. This target here was hit. That's from July 7th, and that was hit, and there was resistance over the target. Bulls have to clear that resistance if they want to continue the rally. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. Right now we've rallied to resistance. We didn't close over Friday's high, meaning so far all that's happened is backing and filling after last week's strong drop. Now my wave count requires a retrace at some time. We're at resistance, and if the response to CPI is negative, this would be a good place for the retrace to start. But that hasn't happened yet, and I can't say it has to start right here. It's a good place. I'm not saying it's the only place. So if we take these highs out, we go and stick with it, not just by a smidgen. We've overcome resistance. I'm going to have to get my erasers out. But if we do drop from here, that could be the wave C of down I'm looking for to complete the wave 2 in red. And when that's done, if that happens, and I think it's full speed ahead on the upside. Right now we have to see if we overcome resistance. I think the economic report is going to be very significant in that regard, and I don't like predicting what happens in response to reports. So this is a pattern with the early low. There's a reasonable chance this high is going to hold, but it's not a guarantee, and that's today's call.